You're watching Pop Culture Paradox. Theories no one asked for. On this episode, we review John Waters' Carsick. In this program, I will be reviewing John Waters' Carsick. You know, I picked this book up in a library in Las Vegas. I mean, I live here. You think I'm going to hang out in a casino all day? Anyway, I was at the library and I saw this book, and when I looked through it, just the idea of John Waters hitchhiking across America appealed to me. I mean, I've always wanted to walk across America. I never did walk across America. I did drive across America, but to hitchhike, that thought never occurred to me, to hitchhike across America, but that's what Waters wanted to do. And ultimately, this book is a great book about dreaming and decision making. Now, that might sound a little conflicting here, but before Waters goes on his journey, he has his moment of preparation. And to prepare for this, he writes two novellas. One is the best that can happen. The second is the worst that could happen. And the third is, of course, what actually happens. And each segment is hilarious in the way that he imagines the best and the worst. And of course, when you get to the reality, you see, okay, you know, some of the good stuff actually happened, and some of the bad stuff actually happened. And then there were some unexpected things that happened that weren't occurring that really were kind of an improvement over the best and the worst that could happen. With the best that can happen, finding a pot farmer in West Virginia who has millions and millions of dollars buried on the premises that they're willing to just dig out and freely give you so you can make your next movie. I don't know what else could be the best better than that. I mean, that is definitely the best that can happen. And the worst that could happen, well, I don't want to give that away, but, you know, I do live in Las Vegas, and while I might agree that dying in Las Vegas is probably not exactly the best thing that can happen, I'm kind of disappointed that in the reality version, Waters totally bypasses Las Vegas. He doesn't come here, which I don't understand, because these are your people. I mean, when I came here to Las Vegas in 2014, which by the way is when this book came out, one of the first things I did was go to Piero's Steakhouse and listen to Pia Zadora sing for a 2-drink minimum. And every time I was there, there was always another celebrity there that you didn't expect. Again, for a 2-drink minimum. I got to see Rich Little, Suzanne Summers, a former governor of Nevada, and a bunch of other people singing with Pia Zadora. And I remember I got there a little early, and Pia Zadora was there sitting up, and she sat down next to me, and you know, she asked, well, what brought you to Las Vegas? My response to her question was, because it's not Hollywood, to which she responded, that's exactly why I live here. I just say, well, do you ever go back every now and then? And she said, oh yeah, I go back every weekend. So are you seeing what I'm saying, John? Pia Zadora could have given you a lift. One of the things that happens in the reality part that was totally unexpected was the introduction of the Corvette Kid. And he's a young, attractive Republican who's heterosexual. But he and John Waters team up and continue their trek across America all the way to Reno, Nevada. That's an independent movie maker's dream right there. And at one point, the Corvette Kid is on the phone with the people back home in Colorado, and he says, oh yeah, I'm here with John Waters, and we just checked into a hotel. And his friend says, John Waters is gay, and you're checking in the hotel with John Waters. Doesn't that sound strange? And he goes, oh yeah. And they go to an Applebee's, and John Waters admires the waiters, and the Corvette Kid admires all the other females that he finds are hot. And what I really liked about this segment is, if you read some of John Waters' earlier writings from, say, Shock Value or Crackpot, one theme he does go on is He doesn't really like things to be too compartmentalized, like where you would have, say, the gay bars here and the straight bars there. You know, he wants everybody to be together and to mill about. And of course, that's the John Waters ideal. Gays and straights mingling together, everybody mingling together of all races, creeds, religions, you know, Justice League, poor, rich, bad taste, good, you know, whatever. And you gotta have good taste to have bad taste. And by the way, before I conclude this review, I want to talk about Hitchhiker Central. Hitchhiker Central was where John Waters would call when he would be in some godforsaken place in America with the rain pouring down and no ride in sight. And he wrote about how bad he felt calling them when he knew they had a day off. But they rose to the occasion and would get him a ride. Hitchhiker Central, which was manned by his two assistants, Susan Allenbeck and Trish Schweers. And the reason I mentioned that is when I was reading the book, he starts out mentioning his assistants by their first name, Susan. And when he did that, a light went off kind of in my head. And the reason why is my first public access television program in Long Beach, California was with Diego Domingo. And you may remember Diego from when I reviewed Larry Wessel's Palace of Wonders. He was there when Anton LaVey's Black House came crumbling down in San Francisco, and got some souvenirs from it. He was going to be on my program, and I needed a host. And he found Susan Allenbeck. And so she was on the very first public access program that I put together. And I do remember him mentioning that she was in one of the early John Waters movies. And eventually I did see her in one, which was A Dirty Shame with Johnny Knoxville. She manned Hitchhiker Central in John Waters' Carsick. Thank you for watching Pop Culture Paradox. And if you liked what you see, please subscribe to this channel and like this video and come back for more.